Right, I want to do a very quick side-by-side comparison of the original 81 Quareia The Magician's deck. This is the 2014 edition, and the new edition, the 2017, which has arrived today. I'm very excited about. Just so you can see some of the differences as I see them. And I'm going to do this quickly because I don't know if you saw yesterday's video where I was saying, oh, I'm getting over a cold. The cold is back. This has happened to a number of people. I know this has been a really weird cold. It's been dragging on for 4 weeks, and I really thought I was getting over it yesterday, and then yesterday afternoon it came back with a vengeance. So I'm struggling a bit here. So deep breath, get this over with. But I really wanted to do this while I've got some time. So here we go. The first thing I noticed, and this is and I'm sorry, I'm reaching around the camera setup, so this is going to be a bit awkward. This is my original one, which I've sort of edged in black. Sorry, it was a bit awkward. Is that the new one, how am I going to do this so you can actually see it, is considerably thinner overall than the original deck. And I wondered if that was just, this one's sort of puffed up from use, but it's not. The cardstock is a bit thinner. That is a disappointment, I have to say. The cardstock is substantially firmer on the original one, and I like that. I like the feel of that. It gives it a bit of gravitas. Oh, I'm not well, folks. Really sorry. So that's a bit of a disappointment. I would have been happier if the cardstock was a bit better. Having said that, the images are lovely and clear, and slightly bigger in the new edition. And I apologize for the reflecting light. It's actually a sunny day today, so I haven't put the lights on, but then of course you get these funny reflections. But you can see the image is just ever so slightly bigger in the new card, and I like the clarity, there we go, that's a bit better, of the new ones. And the color, you can see it's got the first one, at least in this light, appears to have a sort of a reddish cast to it. Okay, you've got the red border around it, which is maybe adding to that effect. But this one does seem to be a bit crisper in color, a bit darker in color, and I really do appreciate the new, simpler titles. I like that much better. I'm really happy with that. So that's your basics right there. All the cards are the same. The books, on the other hand, I mean, this is the original one, and you can see it's, it's not very thick, but it was sufficient. I was happy with it. I didn't have any complaints. But this is the new one. Yeah, just a bit thicker, just a bit meatier. It's got the nice sort of velvety covers that these books have nowadays. I haven't looked in too great detail beyond the information about the cards, but the biggest difference you'll notice, and I've sort of bookmarked an example in both, let's see if I can do this, is that you have the image of the card, which is very nice to have, and you have a whole page set aside for that one card, whereas in the first edition the card information just ran on from one page to the next and no images. Not a big deal. Again, I never had any complaints. I've had a look at this one in particular, and there is a slight bit more information. Some of the information that was there previously has been reworded and expanded upon a bit. I had a look at another one of the cards, I think the Fate Holder, and as far as I could tell, it was word for word identical to what was in the first book. So some of the meanings have been, well, not meanings, but some of the information has been expanded upon, and some of it hasn't. What you do get in this one now is, what do they call it? A mundane divination at the bottom there. Let me see if I can get in there. It'll probably be a bit wonky. Might not focus. Don't suppose it's going to focus. But anyway, which is nice to have, but to be perfectly honest, I didn't miss it. And I wouldn't miss it now. It depends. I suppose if you are stuck on a reading and you're not quite getting it, and you have a read through the book, something useful might jump out of that. So it's good to have. Use it, don't use it. But I'm not too concerned about that. But to be honest, I haven't been sort of through the rest of the book to see if anything has been sort of added beyond this sort of. You got, yeah, I recognize that. Landscape layout, I think that was in the first one. You know, I don't think too much has changed there. Oh, but I could be wrong. Excuse me, I'm clumsy. And these cards are, both copies are fairly slippery. You do have to be a bit careful with them. Now I picked certain cards out. What has happened here? Have I done this right? Yeah. Right, done those. What have I done with them? Oh, that's right. I put them at the bottom so I wouldn't have to faff with them too much. One thing I noticed, and a few people noticed in the first deck, was what appeared to be two different colors in the border. I don't know if you can see it, but that sort of blue around that side, and what appears to be that sort of a slightly greeny black around that side, which I assumed at the time meant sort of a connection between the two realms, and I'm not going to go into the details. Because brain, no. It is much more apparent in the new one. You can really see the line between the two colors there. That is, you know, some people thought, ooh, is that a printing error? What is that? That's clearly supposed to be there. The other interesting thing, not apparent in this one, here's a chariot that is entirely green all around the edge. It looks slightly darker at the bottom, but it is green. In the new deck, there is very clearly blue at the top and green at the bottom. So again, you've got a divide between the two realms. So that's quite interesting. Maybe looking into that a little bit more. I pulled the Unraveler out, I think, just as another side-by-side comparison, because I quite like this card. And again, you can see the color is slightly less. In this case, it seems slightly less yellow, and I think it's a bit crisper and a bit clearer. I really do like this. Oh, that was another thing, and I don't know if you can actually see it, but one of the things that annoyed me on the original deck, you might just catch it in the light there. See those little, in this case, vertical dark lines near the top and the bottom of the deck, where the cards have been cut, and it's left these little nubbles. Subtle, you know. I mean, it's not, no big deal. I'm just being a fusspot, but it is noticeable, and I thought, that's not very nice, especially when I sort of colored the edges as I did, and I sort of made it stand out a bit more, perhaps. This new one is nice and smooth. You don't get any of those sort of cut marks. There's a bit of a sort of a line there, but it's not a physical line. So that's quite nice, and I'm debating now. I will definitely color the edges of these. I don't know whether I'll do them black as well. I'd love to be able to do silver, but I'm afraid if I used a silver marker, it would just end up looking grey. So we'll have to see. But yeah, all in all, I mean, I'm absolutely delighted to have them. You know, clearly, if I'm going to spend out for two of them. Although I'm lucky, being in the UK, it's relatively cheap for me because, hurrah, these actually come from the UK. I'll put details about the decks, you know, if you're not familiar with them, details of where you can get a copy, all of that in the doobly thingy, what's it. But that's it. That's really, sorry, this is all kind of scrappy and messy and random and what have you, but no, I'm very, very happy to have both decks, quite frankly. I love the fact that I've got this one. I wouldn't even, I don't think, consider giving it away now that I've got this one. I think I would want to keep both of them. I'm just really happy, and I wanted to share, and I wanted you to get a chance to see the differences should you be interested. And now I'm going to go have a lie down. I'll talk to you all sometime soon. Take care. Bye.